I don't really think I need to introduce Doom to you. You all know the story by now. Wolfenstein started the first-person shooter genre, but it was Doom and then later Quake that blasted the genre into the mainstream. It was one of the most popular PC games of its day and remains a franchise with tens and potentially hundreds of millions of fans around the world. Doom is Doom. Simple as that. And it was only natural for Doom to appear on pretty much every platform known to mankind because of just how popular it was. And while the PC version hit the scene in 1993, which makes me feel exceedingly old, the consoles of the time, namely the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, weren't quite powerful enough to showcase the game in all its gory glory. As such, when the next generation platforms hit the scene, Doom was right there waiting. Both the Sony PlayStation and the SEGA Saturn had ports featuring both Ultimate Doom and Doom 2. The N64 would be home to Doom 64, which was a special game that the N64 could call all of its own. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Saturn version of Doom. And I've gotta say, this is a far inferior port to the PC original, and hell, even to the PlayStation version. To start, this version was released in March of 1997, which was a few months after the PlayStation version, which hit in October of 1996. Outside some missing audio tracks and reduced or altered graphics, the biggest problem with the Saturn version is that it feels extremely rushed. The frame rate is low, like ridiculously low, sometimes as low as 10 frames per second, and as such the gameplay feels painfully sluggish. Capturing this footage was excruciatingly difficult as I just wanted to close the system, flip on my PC and play a version of Doom that I have on Steam or somewhere else. And while you don't see it in the footage here, on my display the game was almost black, like I could barely see anything, it was so dark. And I have no idea why that happened, especially considering you don't see it in the video. But I did think it was worth mentioning because I tried it on 3 different displays, and all 3 displays the screen was pretty much black. Like I say, you couldn't see pretty much anything. The game consists of 59 levels of brutal first-person shooter action. You can strafe, you have access to some legendary weapons like the double-barrel shotgun, chainsaw, and more. You can't look up or down, but that's to be expected considering the age of the game. There is a map feature, thankfully, so you shouldn't have too much trouble figuring out where you have to go next or sort of seeing what's coming up. Overall, this is Doom. There's not much I can say about it that hasn't been said 1,000 times before, but that's why I wanted to focus on the Saturn version, because it really does look and feel sluggish compared to all the other ports of the game that were out at that point in time. The audio doesn't feel as powerful as the PlayStation version, and because of the poor frame rate, enemy reaction time is lessened, thus making the game easier as a result. Now I'm going to switch gears to a few fun facts for you guys. The back of the box actually says that there are 60 levels, even though, as I just mentioned, there are only 59. And my personal favorite is that the game claims to have deathmatch, even though it didn't make it into the North American version of the game, but it would be later added to the European and Japanese versions of the game. That's right, folks, false advertisement at its finest. The European version is actually a lot superior to this one, but only because it supports both co-op and deathmatch. But by far the best version on the Saturn is the Japanese version, because not only would it have deathmatch and co-op, it would also improve the frame rate, although none of the versions on the Saturn can compare to the first version released on the PlayStation, which is by far the best version compared to the 2. Because it's just so much faster and plays smoother, sounds better, and looks better. If you really want to play a fun version of Doom on a retro console, I really suggest you go and check out the PS1 version, as it's just so much better overall. Thankfully, first-person shooters on the Saturn would improve as the system went on, including decent ports of Quake and Duke Nukem 3D, which I'll be covering in future reviews. I should also point out that the keyboard and mouse are not compatible with Doom for whatever reason. In fact, I wasn't able to get any of the first-person shooters to work with the keyboard and mouse, which I thought was very, very odd. For now, anyone who's looking to pick up Doom on the SEGA Saturn would probably do well to just skip it. Unless you're a die-hard Doom fanatic, I would say you should probably go for the PlayStation 1 version. Better yet, just play a modern console version or just play the original version on PC. It's readily available, and that's pretty much the best way to go.